The Lord wants me to encourage you today, friends. Your strength is in Him. Your power is in Him. And it's not about your own strength. It's not your own abilities. He puts His power and His strength in you. It's about surrender. He says, surrender. And don't listen to the lying voices. Satan is always whispering in your ear. Him and his minions are trying to bring you down. They'll speak through people. They'll even speak through religious people, religiously people, the holier than thou. They can speak through anybody. Even Peter. Satan spoke through Peter to the Lord and said, oh, no, Lord, you don't have to be crucified. He said, get behind me, Satan, because he knew that was his destiny. It wasn't an easy destiny, and Peter meant well, but he gave into that spirit that tried to speak through him to Jesus. So it could be your family, it could be your friends. Satan will use anybody. That's why it's so important for the sheep to know his voice. And the only way is through intimacy, where you know for yourself that Jesus is speaking to you, and you hold to that. The book of Daniel says about these times, these last days we live in, fighting Satan and his antichrist spirit, all that stuff. Those who know their God will do great exploits. But it also says, even the elect could be deceived in these times. So it's so important to know his voice. I told you that over and over. And we got to know who we are. The only way you know who you are is to know who he is. And then your union and your communion with him. Relationship with him. It's not religion. He's calling the outcasts of the world, and they're not going to just be these holier than thou beings floating around. No, they're going to be the trash of the world. He calls just like David's mighty men. They were the outcasts. They were the nobodies. They were the indebted, and they came to David to his aid to help him in the wilderness, and they became his mighty man to fight for him. And then Jesus is calling the nobodies the trash. And he says that, Paul says that, not many of you were called that were rich and authority and whatever, that you weren't the wisest. It's the fools of the world. God chooses the fools of the world to confound the wise. The Pharisee type that says, but these people, they're not learned. How do they know these things? How do they speak with such authority? He talked about the disciples like that when they came in the book of Acts, when Peter stood up and spoke with such authority and so many were saved and turned into Jesus and healed. He said, these are unlearned men. How can they speak like this? They must have been with Jesus. And that's what's going to be said about you. They must have been with Jesus. It must be his power working through them. It must be his spirit, because we know them. They're nothing. They're nobodies. It's his power and his spirit they surrender to. They might not be the perfect people. And that's a warning to you, church people. Don't condemn people when they're coming in. They're coming to Jesus. The prodigals are coming home. Don't condemn them for every little thing and push them down. God wants you to encourage them and lift them up. Don't let Satan speak through you. Romans 7 says you can destroy with the word. Satan used the word to destroy. Remember, in the wilderness of temptation, he came against Jesus with the word. There's power in your words for good or evil. Jesus comes back with a sword of fire coming out of his mouth because there's power in your words. Use it for his glory in Jesus' name.